Hey everybody, just wanted to give you a update on the projects I'm working on while we're in this COVID-19 shutdown thing. I started this little table about 9 months ago, and I'll tell you the whole story of it here. Stick around.
A ash tree that was in our backyard we had cut down a few years ago. Just left this one section of it to give me enough leverage to pull it down with the excavator, which turned out to be a lot harder than we thought. But it did finally succumb to the pulling. Very small roots left there. Amazing. So we cut it up into small enough pieces and hauled it around the house, put it out by the curb for the garbage man to take. And I started looking at it and thinking, you know what? I should probably get out there and save some of this. And so I got the chainsaw and we made it some slabs. It turned out to be quite a messy project. Surprisingly, I'm not as good with a chainsaw as I am at selling real estate, so I had to do quite a few passes on this with the router to flatten it out. So I made this little sled that the router runs back and forth on so I can get the slab of the wood, flat. Once I had it looking how I liked it, it was now time to cure the wood. It needs to sit for a long, long time just to dry out the wood, and I was really worried about this cracking and splitting because that's what usually will happen with wood when you just set it. It dries too fast on the outside. So what I did is I mixed up a solution of cornstarch, salt, and water. And I spread that all over the slab, both sides, and I let it air dry in my basement for, about 9 months. But in the meantime, I needed something to do. While we still have this excavator available, hey, why don't we tear out the back patio and build a workshop? Because I've always wanted to have a big workshop. I've been working on it in my basement for years, and it's tiny. Let's do it. So, Carol, let's go. Started out with take the patio out, dug a foundation, built some walls. This is all late September when real estate's supposed to be slow. It turned out to be very busy for me, so this was a slow process. By the time we really got going here, we were getting into cold weather, and it was interesting. This little dingo here moved a lot of dirt with that thing. They are awesome, except when they do that. They shut down when they tip over, so very difficult. We ran into rain. We ran into snow. Lots of snow. Finally got the in-floor heat system installed, getting ready for concrete. This is down in the basement. This is the system that warms up the slab. Got a guy that came out and did some concrete for me, the last project of the year in the snow there. It's still snowing as we're putting up walls. Still snowing as we're putting up trusses. 25 degrees there on the thermometer, still putting up trusses. It did start shaping up nicely though, cold working, but it's really coming along nice. Found out it was really tough to get all this lumber up on the roof, so we devised a way of pulling it up there using a hoisting system. Worked out pretty darn well. I was pretty happy with it. I don't think there was a chance that I would ever have gotten these 40 sheets of material up on that roof without this hoist. It was a lifesaver. Eventually we had some decent weather here and were able to get the roof done. Some interesting cuts up there. All the way through till drywall. Actually got heat in there now, and it's beautiful. Got the floors polished up and got those ready for staining, which we did an acid stain, kind of a random pattern on there, and then eventually put a sealer on it. Turned out just beautiful. So we finally have a finished workshop. It's the best thing ever. Through this whole pandemic, I've spent a lot of time out here, 4 to 6 hours a day, just because it's so awesome. So, got the heated floor system. It's nice and warm all the time. Got a big dust collection system put in. Got pretty much everything hung in the walls, so I don't have to worry about sweeping underneath things. Everything's on casters. Got exercise equipment out here. Got my garden started. TV, stereo. What more could you ask for? You're right, Finley. I forgot all about the slab and the table. So by now, my little friend here has been curing for almost 9 months in the basement, and it turned out really nice. Although now it's going to take a ton of sanding, like hours and hours of sanding to get it flat and smooth. And even with the slow curing, it still developed a few cracks, which is pretty typical for a piece of wood this size. Fortunately, it looks pretty cool if you fill the cracks with epoxy. So I got some colored epoxy and filled them in, and then back to sanding again. For the legs, I didn't have any material really available. I couldn't go to the store and buy anything because we're all in quarantine, so I ended up using these slabs of oak that I brought. I've actually brought these from three houses ago, and moved them and moved them and moved them, and finally get to use them on this project. So I'm gluing them up here and putting them together, and now here I'm showing me cutting the slots where they will attach into the base of the table. Now on to the very, very best part. This is the finishing portion, and this is where you really see the grain of the wood come to life. So this is kind of cool here. You can see the little spots where the emerald ash borer got into the tree to kill it right here. It left those marks in there in the bark. Thought that was kind of cool. Here's the glamour shot. The project was really, really fun to build. I'm definitely going to try some other stuff. If you guys have any ideas for me, let me know what I should do next, because I really had fun doing this. Thanks for watching.